Here at Titan TV, we want to recognize great things that our teachers and students are doing out there in the distance learning.
Speaking of that, my mom, Mrs. Cowles, just interviewed Miss Clayton.
So check it out.
Welcome, Mrs. Clayton, to Titan TV. I just want to thank you for coming on and doing this interview. So can you go ahead and just introduce yourself and tell everyone what you teach?
My name is Mrs. Clayton, and I teach biomedical sciences. I've been teaching for 14 years, and about 10 of them have been in biomed.
Awesome. And have you been with university since it opened?
So I got to university January, its opening year. So I wasn't there day one, but I've been there since year one.
So yes, you have been. Awesome. Okay, so I wanted to interview you on Titan TV for a couple of things. You always do wonderful things for your students, and I know during this time of distance learning, you've been mailing supplies and things like that. Can you elaborate a little bit about what you've been doing?
Yes, so my level 4 students are doing a really cool lab on toxicity and how it affects plants in the environment. So I actually mailed seeds to those that didn't have seeds. Some of them literally took out seeds from their bell pepper and dried them out and grew them.
That's
and
cool.
Some of them didn't have any, and I didn't want them to go to the store. So I had seeds with me, and I mailed them to the address, and basically they chose their toxin, whether that was like sunblock, or some of them did vinegar or soda or whatever. They chose their toxin. Mm-hmm. And then they did different concentrations of the toxin to see if it would grow and if it would inhibit growth of a seed for germination. So I haven't gotten those labs back yet. They're actually due this Friday, and I'm super excited to see, because these kids have been working, even if they're not in the classroom, they've still been able to do labs and still work, and they make me so proud. They amaze me so much.
That's awesome. And I was wondering how in the world they were going to be able to do labs, because this whole quarter that you had set up anyway for your classes was 100% lab work, I felt like. So yes. The fact that you're able to still do that is incredible. The way that you're able to mail supplies and have your students give you the work, it definitely shows that they really care about you.
They've been working so hard. They make me so proud. And then my level 3 students have been phenomenal. They've been doing projects since we've been on quarantine, and we modified some of the projects, which it's a lot of hands-on in the fourth quarter. It keeps them coming to school, which is nice. So It's a lot of hands-on, and they've made prosthetic arms, out of whatever materials they wanted. They had full range as long as they didn't have to go to the store. I wanted them to use something at home that they had. I don't care if it was toilet paper rolls, because everyone's got that now.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was paper towels. I don't care if it was rolled up paper. Some people literally use sticks from outside.
Yeah.
And they were phenomenal. The only point is that it had to hinge at the elbow and rotate at the wrist. And they blew my mind. I'm totally going to change my future assignment just because they blew my mind. They did so much more than they would have done in class. And it was so awesome. And then some of them made TikTok videos with them.
Oh, I love it.
I can't tell you how many times I went to go take a sip of my water and then press play, and I was spitting out water because they were so creative, and it was so awesome. It really was.
That has to make you feel good. It makes everyone feel good, actually, and I know they appreciate that recognition, so thank you for that. One more thing I wanted to touch on is the masks. I know you're wearing a mask from a local company. Can you chat about that?
Yeah. So Embroidery is a local company that does all of my classroom printing. So they do the STEM t-shirts, the STEM polos, STEM hoodie, biomed t-shirts, biomed polos, and now they switch gears to help the community. And they are now doing their masks. And one thing I love about their mask is, one, they can hang around my neck. So when I don't need it, I could just put it around there and kind of forget about it.
Yep.
And two, it's not on my ears. So when I put this on,
oh yeah, perfect.
It's around my head, but not around my ears. So that way it's not hurting anything. Yep. It's comfortable. It still seals. And on the inside part, it has a filter that's washable.
Perfect.
So it's a washable filter. And if you buy, they had mentioned that if you buy a solid, and you put in the special instructions that you want either a helmet or UHS, because I have another one.
Ooh.
So you could put that, and they'll do that for free. So these masks are $10 and they're on their embroidery.com website, and it's embroidery with an A. So, and you can do that, and they have different colors, and you can have the helmet. So when this is on, the helmet's actually the correct way and everything.
I love it.
So it's
Aw.
fabulous. They're so wonderful, and they've really helped a lot. So they have different patterns. Like if you want a pattern one, you can get a pattern one. It doesn't have to be solid, but they are, for the solid ones, willing to put the helmet or the UHS for free embroidery for you if you want that.
Students have been making some masks with some materials around the house. Can you share some things and talk about that?
Yes. So my students, nothing to do with Corona. It was actually, we do a bioterror drill, and it's kind of like an Ebola bioterror drill. It's based on the book that they read with Miss Parrish in Anatomy and Physiology. So they read a book called Hot Zone, and then they have to simulate how they would act and prepare for a hot zone, which is when some sort of, could be a pandemic, eruption comes out, and how are you going to protect yourself? So they actually made their own masks out of, and this is an example of a student mask. It was actually a student from last year, but they made their own bioterror suits and bioterror masks. And this is actually a fully functional one. So it completely covers the face. And on the inside of it, it has the filter and the holes over here so you can breathe. Not gonna lie, it gets hot. And they even, for comfort, put duct tape around the side, which I thought was totally fun. So.
Wow, I'm so impressed.
And that's one of the bioterror masks that they made. Some of them were so much more creative. One of them made like a vacuum filter, and it was phenomenal. Like, these kids blow me away. I love it. And then they made a bioterror suit. So the whole point was you couldn't get any oxygen in. So they put gloves and they had to seal it. And then they made suits out of black garbage bags, white garbage bags, Winn-Dixie baggies, you know, all that stuff. And they duct taped themselves in it. And then they did a video because they had to show me, you know, their wrists and ankles and their waist to make sure everything was sealed, and had to do a little turn, you know, and make sure everything was sealed. And then they even did TikToks with that. Those cracked me up because they're dancing in their bioterror suits, and it was like the best thing ever.
I don't want to see that.
Oh my gosh. I have some that are pretty amazing. They make me so happy to be their teacher, but so impressed with their creativity. I can't even, like, I'm telling you, they're making me rethink my whole teaching plan just so that way they can do more, because apparently I'm limiting them.
Oh, we'll see more positives coming out of this quarantine. So here you go. We all need a little bit of cheer. Thank you for sharing. One last thing, is there a message that you'd like to send to our class of 2020 seniors right now?
So my seniors, know that you are loved, know that you are hardworking, and that you will persevere through anything, because if you've gotten through this, you can get through just about anything. And just stick together and encourage each other. We all need encouragement, and if I can encourage you, that would be the best thing for me to be able to offer that to you. You're amazing.
Thank you. You're gonna make me tear up. And we all agree.
I'm struggling because I have 54 amazing seniors graduating from biomed this year. Not that the other seniors aren't amazing. They're all amazing. Don't get me wrong.
They're all amazing.
But I have 54 that I've either had for 2 or 3 years that have a special place in my heart, and it hurts not being able to do the fun stuff with them. But I'll tell you, my favorite thing to do with them is getting on these Teams messages, conferences, and I do it every other week, and I get to just see their faces. I don't care if it's in bedhead. I don't care. I mean, as long as they got clothes on, that's all I care about. But other than that, I don't care if they have makeup or whatever. It's just to see their faces and to see the faces of those kids that you just connect and love.
Yeah. We all need that. And that's what's great about Microsoft Teams, is like, we're doing this now with you, and we can still see our students because we are live teachers. We didn't choose to be these distance learning teachers, but we are, and you're obviously making the best of it. So huge kudos to you, and just keep the positivity up, and your students and fellow teachers, colleagues, we appreciate you very much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I know you're all working hard, and it's just fun to kind of hear each other's stories, though. It really is.
Good,
So
exactly.
thank you for interviewing me.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're able to do the spotlight, and I want to thank you again, and I hope you and your family stay safe and healthy, Miss Clayton.
You too. Bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Talk to you later.